you have a beefy...
Into the back line, the major engage from T1. Tarzan finds a supreme display of talent and making a 1-for-1 so far. But T1 have the health bars. Faker rides the Weaver's wall as Carrier's about to die into the back line. But Kyle falls, Tarzan falls. T1, they'll lose Carrier as Gumayusi fights back, and Shanks is on the run. Faker and Guma looking for a little bit more with a piercing arrow going over the wall, and Faker's ready to flash. Another rock is thrown, and Shanks is buried. T1, 4 for 2.
Once again, it's Faker in the clutch in the fight. Finds the flick. Doran, but Flandre going in.
Yeah, Flandre goes in for the flash. He wants to try to find Faker here. Needs a little bit more damage. Ulti to drop the aggro, and Shanks gets the kill. TP coming in from T1, but it might be on here with the grand entrance. Hope tries to get over the wall. He sidesteps the seismic shot, but the damage from Owner is way too much. A big mistake from AL, and a bigger punish from T1. Tarzan goes in. Supreme display of talent under 3, but there is no follow-up. Tarzan has to try to flash away. Owner goes after him, but now he's trapped. Shanks with a little bit more damage kills off the T1 jungler. The realm warp's ready to go in, and Shanks wants another. The arrows fly out as Doran charges in. Marked on the side, seismic shove onto the AL top laner. Chain CC on the Flandre, he's already down. T1 have found the pick. Supreme display of talent, tries to hold the line, but into the back line goes Owner. Hope is being chased. Tarzan's being killed. Anyone's legend is being crushed as Shanks tries to fight back in a 1v4, but he'll get nothing but an epitaph as T1 kill 4. And Faker's riding the wall in. Hope's gonna be the last to die. A delayed ace for T1, and the delay makes it even better because now even when AL respawns, side of the Weaver's wall, seismic shove connects onto Shanks, who immediately goes golden, but it's gonna be a 2-for-1 deal. Supreme display of talent at least takes Carry out in the process, but T1 have still won the fight. They're gonna keep pushing forward. They've got the Baron, they've got the Soul, they've got the enemy tier 1 turret. Aura charging in, Weaver's wall over the top. Kyle's gonna be caught. A ton of burst onto the support of anyone's legend, and he's already down. T1 charge forward, double kill to Gumayusi, pressure onto Tarzan, triple kill Guma. AL are cut to pieces, and T1 holds the sword. Flandra's last for so very long, but when it came down to the clutch, it's T1 who prove why they are the reigning back-to-back world champions. They out champs to play the game. Gumayusi flashes after. One more spinning axe is gonna do it, but no! Hope denies it as Carrier has to flash over the wall to escape. And Flandre with the flash away. Doran gonna burn him down, but he needs a little bit more damage with the flame spitter. The turret was so heated up, it makes it a 1-for-1.
In the experience he had with Flandre.
They've scrambled the egg, and there's the feat of warfare for anyone's legend.
Faker did not respect the ult combination. He tried to dodge the ult.
Flash electro harpoon coming out from but no! It's Flandre with reinforcement from Shanks for the shield. So good for AL. As Flandre's made his way into the fight, and Gumayusi goes back over the wall. Tarzan kills Faker, and T1 is on the run. Carrier dredge lines back to safety as Shanks dives in beside Kyle. A double kill for Tarzan. Shanks has arrived. They're looking at Gumayusi, and they find the taunt. Guma's already down. T1 are routed as they try to escape to look to find the kill onto the Mbessa. Owner goes after it, needs the third talent strike, and Doran's damage is enough, but off to the side at the same time. Hope is going in. It's another kill traded back as Gumayusi dies once more. Anyone's legend, they want a second, and they'll find it. A double kill to Hope. Tarzan's low, and the Whirling Death's gonna find the execution. T1 still fighting back as the Otacon is slain by Owner, but he dies in the middle of the fight. Public execution finds no target. Gumayusi on the run. Hope they're moving into the enemy jungle now, and Kyle again just slams Owner into the wall, but now he's in danger. Tarzan and Kyle both so low, it's 2 dead on the AL side, but Hope is still alive. Faker flashes back over the wall, but Shanks is burning. Flandre caught in the middle of everyone. Anyone's legend have overplayed their hand, and T1 is ready to punish. Hope should be next to die, and Guma cashes in. Only Shanks still stands, and Owner is ready to follow up. The wind becomes lightning and strikes Shanks down. Ace wants to flank, and he flashes over the wall. Now Faker's gonna try to get away. Hero's entrance knocks up 3. T1 trying to scramble. The damage comes down, and Flandre flashes back over the wall as Owner's first to die. T1 on the run. Kyle wants a wall slam, but he can't quite find it. Hope goes in for Guma, and he cuts him down. Enough that he cannot stay alive. Hope runs after Doran. The auto attacks cutting through the rumble. A little bit more is needed, and a little bit more will be on a silver platter, and it's AL, eaten good. Into the back line, public execution onto Faker. Redemption's not there in time. The egg has already been procced, but he will not be reborn. A kill onto Owner follows. AL's already found two, and they want Gumayushi. Doran and Keria will be next to die as T1 are wiped off of Summoner's Rift. Anyone's legend with a clean ace to win game two.
The Panda Warriors are coming alive in game two and showing that in Shanghai.
Roam up to mid.
Further, there's your fate sealed. Shanks goes in. First blood over to Hope.
Anyone's legend collapsed onto the mid lane. We're so well renowned for Hope under pressure now.
Yeah, Keria wants the pull and he finds it onto Hope, who immediately tries to get away with the bomb right over the top. Doran in the middle of the Cataclysm. The stolen Tempered Fate. Tarzan's already down. Kael's about to die. T1's found two. Shanks is in the middle of everybody and he has to try to get away. He wants to charge Q3. He gets over the wall for now. Tarzan steps forward and Hope's got the killing bullet. AL with their second kill. Either side is Hope for the side of AL. Doran on the Cassante, caught up here with a deadly flourish. The shots fire out, the curtain is called, and Gumayushi is cold as T1 lose their bottom lane carry.
Ash was down.
It's nice Tempered Fate there, flies out from Kael, and now they're looking to go in after Keria. The Mega Inferno bomb's not gonna matter, and AL. Owner trying to fight back as Shanks is in the middle of everybody. He snaps back. Keria dies first. Immortal Shield Bow keeps Shanks alive as AL are now continuing to retreat. Kael and Shanks very low. T1 goes forward. Tarzan with a dunk, but he's only going to seal his own fate. Gumayushi barely holding on, but he burns down. Faker with a kill on Tarzan. Owner chases Hope. The Jin getting away for now as T1. Flandra needs more distance, but he cannot find it. Abscond, abduct. Goodbye to the Aurora. Now Flandra putting some pain onto the T1 lines, but no, it's Owner going in. They lock up Flandra, they beat him down. Owner's on a killing spree. Through the wall they go. Tempered Fate from Faker, keeping himself alive as Doran's under the back line. Hope is under pressure. Faker's still alive for now. Hope gonna be cut down. Doran going in and Faker's already cut down first. Hope next to die. It's a 1-for-1. AL's in the middle of everybody as Tarzan has to try to get away, and Keria is gonna be focused, but he finds a pull over the wall beforehand. Flandra pulled in, but Doran shut down. Gumayushi over the wall with another satchel as Tarzan wants to find a little bit more, but he dies. Gumayushi and Owner working together as Guma dies to Shanks. Owner will get knocked into the Guardian Angel. Keria is the only one left alive, and that Guardian Angel will not hear the prayers of T1. It's a 4. Faker with a teleport ready to join up as immediately the engage comes out from Tarzan. The target is Keria. The Shanks shield finds everybody. Thanks in the back line as Gumayushi tries to get away. He's scattered, but he's knocked down by Tarzan. Faker scrambling as Kael and Hope chase after him. Doran's gonna be the next target, and anyone's legend. The binding into the wall does not connect to Kael, but now T1 is overextended. Owner's in the middle of everyone. That's your jungler right before Elder, but the TP is a mistake from Flandra. He's shut down already. Owner's Guardian Angel will not save him, but the stasis is gonna lock everybody up. Tarzan's gonna be your focus. Mega Inferno bomb over the top of the Elder is secured by anyone's legend, and they're continuing the fight. Faker is about to be executed as Doran falls too. Anyone's legend is murdering T1. Curtain call fires out. Most of the bullets won't find their target, but they won't need to. The final shot. Owner jumps into the middle of everyone, but the Elder Dragon will roar with the might of China as anyone's legend forces T1 to match point and takes game 3.
Especially if you get roams from the Leona to go up to this LeBlanc lane and put some extra pressure there. So very interesting stuff.
But Hope still lives underneath the turret. Doran's going in with a bellows breath, and it's first blood over to Keria. Kael tries to counterattack with Zenith Blade, but he does not have what he needs. Still in the back part of the fight. Tarzan with a 3-man impale. T1 still trying to fight as Faker arrives in. He tries to get underneath the turret. Doran flashes away. Flandra does secure the kill, but now he's got to get away from the turret. His teammates coming up to guarantee he survives. Herald secured by Owner as the Ornhorn comes in, but only finds one. Keria locks up Hope. Gumayushi into the back line, and the AL AD carries already down. Owner tries to flash away. Doran in the middle of everybody, but Flandra barely stays alive. He should surely die right after the shield falls, and Owner kills him. Kael's on the run. T1's on the hunt. Through, and Hope is already down. T1 have found their marks, and they want even more. Owner is smashed by Flandra in the Rift Herald pit here at the same time as Faker stays alive, and they cannot quite do it. Finally, they get the shutdown. AL's winning the fight. T1 may have overplayed. They may have overstayed. Force Ornhorn sounds off. Doran goes in. They're going to knock up Kyle here at the very start, but into the back line. T1, Faker under pressure. The burst over the mid laner. They found him, but Hope is also already down. Shanks next to die. The Arcane Storm is a tight. Will not connect over the wall. And now Tarzan goes on a killing spree. AL are winning another fight. Doran locked up. Kyle and Hope now. A nice catch from Doran. Hope is already down. Tarzan has to retreat. Ishtal's impact through the wall. They can't slow him down. They can't lock him up. T1 back onto the Baron yet. Shanks going in after Carrier wants to stop him. Ornhorn through the middle of the fight. And once again, Flandra's going to get focused, but he is not dead. Big impale from Tarzan. A lot of damage comes through. Carrier dies before the Pop Blossom. Flandra in a little bit of trouble now, but he's still fighting. The shield keeps him alive, but T1 is too strong. AL running now. They've lost two. T1 have only lost their support. And find Gumayushi. That's the angle. That's the only way to win it. And there he goes. Shanks with the hero play as Hope tries to escape from Doran, but the Bellows breath takes him down. Tarzan wants to get away from Owner, from Faker. He can't quite get there. He's feared up. Shanks nearly kills off Owner, but a beautiful spell shield keeps him alive. Shanks is trapped inside the gravity field, and Faker takes him down. Tarzan on the run. Tarzan will not be allowed to dig through the wall. The Arcane Storm silences him as he tries.
There is nothing that he can do to get into the pit.
Exactly. It's free Baron. And Carry with a three-man Pop Blossom will seal the fate of anyone's legend. Guma with a triple. Guma with a quadra. Only Flandra stands. Gumayushi finally dies, but AL will die with him. T1 will not go quietly. They will force down the Nexus turrets. They will move to the Nexus, and they will take us to silver. Great.
This might put its bottling.
The zap does not connect on Gumayushi. Tarzan down here in the bottom lane. Guma wants first blood on the Kyle. It's going to be secured by Carrier. A 1-for-1. But Hope gets Owner flashing away, staying alive. But there's the Glacial Prison. Only connects under the tank, but Flandra's arrived into the fight. They fight too. Anyone's legend got exactly what they were looking for. Faker at least gets one back. They charm up the enemy jungler. Tarzan's already down, but Doran dies. Hope is excited, but where's the rest of the fight? Carrier tries to get away. Gumayushi right beside him. Flandra here in the front line as Owner's going to be chopped up. The Mundo dies. Hope's on a killing spree. Flandra going forward, but Faker takes him out. Hope, Shanks, and Kyle trying to get away. Guma, Carrier, and Faker stepping forward. Glacial Prison fired out, but it's claimed. The soul for T1, but Owner has already died. AL have got to find more unless they want to lose the game here. Doran takes a ton of burst. Scout of the week, the damage from the unleashed power. Shanks has another kill, and Tarzan is chasing after Faker. He gets the smite for the slow. They're gonna find another kill.
Vision, that's some damage onto Owner.
Yeah, they're gonna commit onto the Doctor. Mundo! Shanks has killed him. Owner is dead. You wanna talk about clutch moments? There you go. Tarzan and Flandra going forward. Faker's gonna be caught. So much damage from AL. Faker about to die. Shanks in a rampage. This Seraphine is down. Tarzan is traded, but Doran has died too. It's Gumayushi against anyone's legend as he tries to kite and fight, but he's stunned. Good night, but kill for Shanks. AL delayed. Guardian Angel will bring Flandra back, but where is the damage on AL's side? Doran into the back line. Kyle is already down. Doran killed in response. T1 pushing forward. Shanks the next kill. Hope trying to kite. They've got to understand this. Aatrox is probably their target. Flandra arrives. Solar Snare looking to lock him up. Owner taking a ton of damage. Hope is excited. Flandra's got the kill. Solar Snare on Hope, but it's not going to do any more. Flandra's going to try to get away. Goes back in here for the Q1. Tarzan wants to engage on the Gumayushi, but he cannot find him. Flandra over the wall. Wants Faker. Can't get the damage. Hope can't do it either. Gumayushi's still alive. T1 out team fight anyone's legend. Syndra, there's just not an angle. Looking for the engage. They found Flandra, but he gets away. Half HP on the front line of AL. T1 pushing forward. They've made their way on the Nexus. AL scrambles to defend. Doran can't do it.